After Walt Disney died in 1966, the company started thinking that we really should be doing something about preserving Walt's history. Well, it sort of grew from that into we really need to preserve the history of the whole organization.
Dave Smith, the founder of the Disney Archives, is retiring after 40 years of tracking the history of Walt Disney, the Disney Company, and the history of Disneyland.
We started the archives in 1970. Disneyland opened in 1955, so there was 15 years there of Disneyland history, which we had to go look for. The fun thing that happens when you start an archives is that very often you find that in the organization there have been some pack rats. There have been certain people that just save everything. And there were two people like that at Disneyland. One was Milt Albright. Milt had been at Disneyland since the beginnings. He had saved copies of all of the employee newsletters. Now, I have never, since that time, ever found anybody else that kept a complete set of those employee newsletters. Another person was named Ralph Kent. Ralph was an artist at Disneyland, had been involved in the early days in designing the postcards. And he had a complete set of all the postcards that had been sold at Disneyland. I remember getting several boxes of material from America Sings when it was taken out of Tomorrowland, always one of my favorite attractions. We reuse our past. The Disney heritage is so important. Most people grew up with Disney in their lives, and they have fond memories of not only seeing the Disney films, but going to Disneyland. It's been important for us to remember this when we are creating attractions at the park. We need to put in some history there. We need to remind people of the early days of Disney.
Dave talked about the chance to see things that regular Disneyland visitors never get to see.
I remember once standing on top of the Matterhorn. Very few guests have ever been up on top of the Matterhorn, and you get a beautiful view. Most cast members at Disneyland have never been in Walt's apartment. It's over the fire station. I have been in there many times.
Even though he's retiring, there are still some historical items Dave would like to get for the Disney Archives.
We don't have a lot of the early souvenir merchandise. It's always fun to find some early pieces. Ever since we started the archives, we have been actively searching for not only film footage, but still photographs that were taken in the park, which is rare to find color photography of the construction of Disneyland.
Dave plans to continue to consult for Disney and maybe write a book or two, but the only things he's taking with him are memories.
You mean you don't have your own secret Dave Smith archives?
I don't have my own secret Dave Smith archives. The materials that I work with here are part of the company's collection.
Mark Eades reporting for OCRegister.com.